welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, a chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a downpour of craft brew on the side. I'm Jade, and I'm here with Nate as we open the door to Chapter 4 of Soul of the Four. It's Fire.
It's not hard to remember. You just got to think my door is 4. It's real easy. Soul of the Fire, by the way.
Yeah. I want to do more, though. Like, my brain just wants to keep doing the thing from before. Okay.
It's one thing that it rhymed. It's another that it's actually true. This is not the first time I've heard you on a rhyme train today, so...
Yeah. No, I like it. It makes me happy. It does something.
Good.
Makes my brain work. And that is good, because today, I don't know if anyone noticed. Maybe you didn't. But Aaron's not here.
No, he's not here.
We got sick, and so he didn't want to come over and risk spreading that around, which I don't blame him for.
No, not at all.
So it's just me and Nate today. It's going to be a little bit more casual because I want it that way. So that's how it's going to be today.
We're just nice and relaxed this week, and so that's just the fucking gear we've been in.
The vibes.
Yep.
So I'm glad that everyone's here with us, and we are going to just like soar through Chapter 4.
You're just so tickled pink with that.
Oh, do you think it's a bore? Okay, I'll stop now. I'll stop. Yeah, I am, though. That made me happy. Okay, so we are here. We're Chapter 4. I don't think we have anything to, touch on or chit-chat about, so I think we can get right the fuck into it.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so this chapter opens up, and the storm has come to the village. That nice morning gave way to the storm that Birdman, I think, was warning them about.
Yep. And
they've now seen the healer, Nestle,
yeah.
Nestle looked over Junie.
The one looking over Junie's body, trying to figure out what exactly, happened to him.
Because he drowned in 6 inches of water.
6 inches of water. Again, not much water at all.
No.
Really have to try.
But we do know you don't need that much fucking water to drown a human.
No, you can drown in a cup. I never knew that. It's not much water at all.
Yeah, you just have to, keep your face in there for a minute.
That's why this whole situation, it's it is possible. It's not probable, but it's possible. And he's there laying face down in the water, so, what do you think?
It just seems silly that he would have just laid down and decided to breathe water.
Yeah, the thing that must have happened to cause that to happen must be extremely rare. It's obviously not something common that's going to be thought about. It must have been 1,000,000 to 1 odds, whatever it was, and there's no way to tell something like that.
No, there's not. Especially not in the circumstances that they're in here in the village.
Yeah, I guess, yes. More specifically here.
With the resources that we have here.
But they do have people for that.
They do. And the people that they have in the village here rule that it's obviously evil spirits.
It's got to be evil spirits.
Yeah.
I apologize for even questioning before, because back 2 minutes ago when I was saying that there's absolutely nothing people would have guessed, nope, this was the first thing they said, and it's obviously correct.
Well, it makes sense.
It only makes sense because nothing else makes sense. But okay, sure, evil spirits, lay it on me.
Well, to be fair, they don't have any other explanation. So that's the one they have.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what we're going with. Why are we going to try and argue about it?
I get that. They do go on. They do explain the system they have in which the sacrifices and the battle between good and evil, and why they think this is what it is. And I like that was all explained, because it's not it must have been a ghost or something. It's no, this is actually part of a process that happens here in the Mud People's Village. It's how we commune to our thing. It's not just random. There was actually a reasoned thing that happened here.
They are not overtly worried about this, and nobody is super they're upset that Junie died. But
yeah, of course.
They are not in a panic or really that upset about it, because they feel like this is the evil spirits sort of self-limiting their own powers. Because when a person is killed by evil spirits, because they're mad. That person that has been killed then becomes a good spirit who helps protect them from the bad spirit, which,
Yeah, they join the good spirit army and then help fight against the bad spirits.
Yeah.
So then the bad spirits are less powerful, and that will hopefully happen less.
Yeah, it just sort of makes the bad spirits seem a little bit dumb, but that's okay. They do offer clay figures representing evil spirits like rice cakes and shit. And if they're mad, that's when they think that they killed. Like if you haven't given enough to the clay spirits or something along those lines.
If you didn't put the yum yum sauce on it, I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
What is this? Just a dry rice cake?
Yeah.
No.
And it might not even be not giving them enough rice cake, but if you've done something to
No mayonnaise?
piss off the evil spirits, then they might kill somebody. But that does make the good spirits.
You think maybe the bad spirits would have had the thought like, hey, every time we kill one of these people, we get weaker. Maybe we shouldn't do this so then we could be more evil. But they keep lessening their own power. But I mean, they're evil. They can't help it. They're going to kill people.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a what is the term?
Fulfilling prophecy?
Bingo. It's one of those.
One of them things. Well, Kara is suspicious of all of the hunters because Junie turned into a threat seemingly on a dime. And so she's now looking at everybody as a potential threat, even though they've been nothing but kind. And Richard is a little bit upset about that. He doesn't like that very much. They do have a little scuffle about that.
Yeah, he's blunt with her about it. And I mean, I can understand Kara's point of view here. Junie flipped for an unknown reason. Not necessarily flipped, not necessarily attacked us, but started acting odd for no reason. Freaked everybody out. We're on security detail at that exact same time. So he caused a variable, which was not part of the plan. So even if it's not a direct threat, one of your people started behaving weirdly for an unknown reason, and now he's dead. So any other one of these hunters, that could happen to them too. And then fucking what? So it's not that they've done anything wrong necessarily. She's just like, Junie freaked out and died. So now like it might be one of you guys.
And I do understand it on one hand, because like, who knows? He could have done anything. But on the other hand, he didn't attack anybody. He just ran off basically and ignored her. But on the other hand, she did interact with him. So it was probably creepy. On the other hand, you interacted with him and you probably felt like it was creepy, but you should have some type of sympathy. Like you saw him not being himself. I mean, I guess this is a different time. Nowadays, we know that could have been any number of things. Maybe a medical episode or a, mental health episode. It could be any number of things. And I would hope most people would be like, okay, I'm not going to hold it against your whole group of people because one person had something go on that we don't even know. Yeah. There's layers.
Well, I think it's key that they didn't attack anybody. Junie didn't attack anybody or hurt anybody, right?
I guess that's my point.
What the difference is here is Kara's view is because Junie acted out of line, that makes Junie a danger. And anybody at the same level as Junie could also succumb to whatever the hell that was. Richard doesn't view that as a danger necessarily. He views that as a mystery. He wants to get down to the bottom of it and see what caused it.
I also think the semi-dangerous part of it is the way that Kara is reframing what happened.
Yeah.
Even though she was there.
Yes.
And like everybody knows that he didn't go after Richard. Richard had to chase him and found him dead. Yeah. So like Kara changing the narrative and being like he attacked Lord Rawl is like crazy town and not helping anybody. And I don't know if she actually believes that, but it's crazy that she's saying it.
Yeah. Conflating the truth never really helps anybody ever.
No. But the whole group, I guess, which is just Richard, Kara, and Kaylin.
Yeah. Richard and co. Yeah. Normally that would include Zed, but I think that's where we're headed right now.
We're heading over to Zed and Anne. I was trying to get there, but I was trying to remember who all was there, and it's actually a smaller group than I thought it was. So it's just the three of them heading over to Zed and Anne.
I think then when they have all six of them with like Chase and everybody, then it's Richard and etc. But I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, there's tears. But on their way, Richard does get that weird creep feeling that somebody's watching him as they enter the building. And he looks around, there's nobody around, but there is a fucking chicken just bobbing around. It does make its way into the room and then proceeds to circle the Grace, bobbing his
trying
little fucking
to avoid
chicken head.
becoming fried chicken.
He figures that Zed and Ann are in the other room, and lightning is lighting up this little room that they're in, and he is about to start speaking, and then he decides, there's a chicken in here, I don't like it.
With the creepy fucking chicken in a lightning backlit room. And then Richard is chasing it around, trying to get it out the door. It's the funniest fucking, there's no way you can do that and look cool or tough.
It's interesting because Richard is the only person who is paying attention to the chickens in general, to any of the chickens. This one in particular. Richard is zoomed in on it. He notices it outside. He notices it come in the room. He does not like it. He decides it needs to get the fuck out of the room.
Very distracted by the chickens.
Yeah, it's brown and it has these weird black stripes on it. But what's interesting to me is that Richard is paying attention to it, but there's no other mention of anybody else being hey, what are your thoughts on the chicken, Richard? Because he's keeping his thoughts to himself, and they're not having a conversation within their little group about, hey, what do you think is happening with the chicken?
It's because if you then look at a chicken and say that chicken's not a chicken, which has already happened, you sound like a crazy person. Because yes, it is. That's clearly a chicken. But if you're I think something's going on with the chicken, guys, and then don't have any proof, then you seem weird. So I think he's just observing and noting and gathering information.
If this is the same chicken that a man named the Birdman pointed out this morning and said it's not a chicken, and it has followed me into a house, I am going to look at my spouse and go, hey, that weird fucking chicken from this morning, I think that's that chicken.
That's that same fucking chicken.
Get that chicken the fuck out of it. Help me corral the chicken.
Well, at first it was a dead chicken, right?
There was a dead chicken.
There was a dead chicken. And then later on, there was another one that was eyeball fucking Richard weird. And that's the one that set him on edge. That chicken is this chicken. Is that what you're saying?
The chicken was there kind of looking at, but Birdman pointed the chicken out specifically and said it wasn't a chicken too.
Right. That one is this one.
Yes.
Okay. Because it was a little weird. It was a little bit confusing. There was one chicken that died. Then there was another chicken that the Birdman said was weird that was making eyes at Richard. And that's this chicken that's now followed them in there and is giving him trouble, but won't touch the Grace.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I think sticks out, because if it's just a dumb chicken, then I don't think that would matter much that there's stuff on the ground. They'd probably actually be attracted to the sand, thinking maybe it's, chicken feed or whatever.
Potentially. But I guess my thing is, I've seen people try to corral chickens before, and sometimes they walk really calmly for most of it, and then randomly. And
then when you get close, then they fucking burst of speed.
Freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they may, a big thing on the ground might get chicken nervous. Maybe that's a portal to hell. I don't know. And I'm just it is funny to me because it's just acting like a chicken would act normally.
Yeah. My uncle had a dairy farm or cow farm, and he had chickens and the whole thing. And so we used to have to go and catch chickens. And that's why I made the crack about Richard. There's no way to look cool doing that, because I've done that. And it's a very awkward thing to do. But yeah, they go real slow because they're just a little suspicious of you. And then you get up closer and they start walking a little faster. And either you slow down and then they calm down and you can kind of get up behind them and just scoop them in one motion. Or, like you said, they just panic and they go, fuck, and they start fluttering and running all over the place. And then I am never going to catch a chicken once it's done that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's interesting.
Slow and steady.
It is interesting because Kaylin is she thinks about it as the chicken being more terrified than anything in its life. And that is what a chicken looks like when you're chasing it.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't matter if there's a Grace on the ground or not. They look psychotic when you're chasing them like that. But Carr just says that chickens are dumb. They're stupid. And I mean, I can't catch a chicken.
No, it's hard. But I think that's the thing, is that it was also avoiding the Grace. I don't think Kara caught that. I think that's why she's like, oh, it's just a dumb chicken not running in a straight line. But it's like, no, there's the fucking thing on the ground that it doesn't want to touch for whatever reason, which a normal chicken, that's why I made that point, wouldn't give a shit about. It's running for the door.
Yeah.
They know what the fucking door is, okay?
Yeah.
A chicken is more than capable of running in a straight line away from you. But this one wanted to avoid the grace, and that kind of fucked it from getting into the door. So I feel like that is significant.
It is significant, for sure. I was just making a crack about how chickens are crazy, and maybe they seem like they're avoiding a grace, but they're just really freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, but also, they're just chickens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. This one in particular, though, is avoiding the grace. Richard confirmed that. I am going to confirm for everybody, though, that I need a beer.
Oh, okay.
I think that a lot of people were wondering, and they've been wondering that for like the whole episode. They're like, is she?
They've just been staring at their phones like, it's been about 20 minutes. I think maybe it's time.
I think maybe she needs a drink. She's not. Yeah. Yeah, I do. So we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back kind of like right after this. Hey, Nate, what are we having today?
Today we are having peanut butter porter from Saugatuck Brewing Company.
All them plosives. Huh?
All them plosives. Yeah, hopefully this little windscreen is doing its job. This is a beer that we've had several times before. Probably even been featured on the podcast a few times. But like we said earlier, Jade and I haven't been feeling great this week. So this is one of those comfort beers that has it's got a solid place in my heart.
And it went from like super balls hot to a couple chilly little days here in Michigan. So a little peanut butter porter action is not bad.
Something a little darker, a little warmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy right now because it's like 80 degrees during the day and then it's like 40 degrees at night. So the temperature is fluctuating quite a bit here. But during like cold nights here, we're chilling. We got the heater on. We're reading a book and drinking that. I am like, it is just right. And it always makes me feel better.
Yes. I don't know what to wear, but I know what I want to drink.
Bring both. Get the shorts and the pants.
This is 5.7%, and I think that it is 8 peanuts.
Okay. You know what? I have to agree with you. I think this one's 8. Unfortunately, I can't rank it higher because a beer that no longer exists, that is the top of the peanut butter flavored beer tower.
Peanut butter spectrum.
Is not being made anymore, and their peanut butter was slightly better than this. So I can't.
Feel.
But as of right now, this is reigning champion right now.
Oh yeah, you like this one better than Odd Sides?
Ooh, you know what? Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to walk that back.
We'll have to have a peanut butter off.
Either way, this one is extremely good, and I stand by that.
How many peanuts did you say?
8 for sure. Yeah.
All right.
It's well deserved of an 8.
All right. Well, we are going to drink more of that, and we'll be back right after this. Hey, y'all. We're back.
We're back.
Isn't that wild? Good to see ya.
I mean, I hit the button, so I wasn't that surprised, but yeah, crazy.
I'm always surprised to be here. It's great. I love it. Anyways, you know who else is here?
Who's here?
Fucking Zed.
Oh.
Yeah, he comes out of the back room.
So still not Aaron.
No.
Okay, check.
No. Zed comes out, and he is dressed in his fancy. They hug. Richard asks about his clothes, and Zed appreciates us, which is a little bit weird because, I mean, I know that this is a new book, so they're describing these characters again, because just in case you've never read anything before. But it is weird, because they were just together last night. And if you were weirded out about what each other were wearing...
For the wedding.
Yeah. You maybe would have mentioned it at the wedding.
I think maybe what it is that Zed normally doesn't wear these kinds of clothes, right? So that he was in something fancy for the wedding, Richard didn't think anything of it. But then this is like your best men wearing the tuxedo the whole next day and be like, no, this is just what I James Bond it now. Every day it's black and white tux.
This is just how I look now. Isn't it awesome?
This is just what I do. Yeah.
Well, We also get a very detailed description of Richard's outfit here, which I think is like the best description we've gotten so far in the series. And there are a lot more charms on him than I thought. Like his boots have charms. His bracelets have charms.
Now, is it
his
charms
belt has charms
in the way that they're things drawn or written on or like etched into, or is it charms like little dangly things?
They made it sound like they were silver.
Silver symbols, like all written in on the clothes and stuff. You think they're danglies?
That's the way I read the description.
You think he's got like the leather tassels on the leather jacket?
Yeah. Or at least little tiny silver things that are dangling all over him. He makes a little bit of noise when he walks, for sure.
You know what? I actually do kind of like the idea of that. I like the idea of that also being a ninja poof ball made out of wizard sand.
What?
Like the sorcerer sand, right? The black and white.
I know.
So he has, but I just like the idea of him being able to pull one off, like in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and then throwing it on the ground and going ninja poof ball, and then being able to disappear.
You mean the charms themselves
are ninja
being
poof balls?
Ninja
yes.
poof balls
On Richard's war wizard outfit.
Okay, Nate. That would be cool. Yes.
I heard that. I understand.
It took me a minute to get to where you were, but I hear you, and that would be cool.
That's interesting you're saying that, Nate. Where did that come up in the book again? Oh, it didn't. Great. Shut the fuck up.
Fuck are you talking about? What's a ninja poof ball?
Nothing. Just my imagination.
Anyways. Anne follows, coming out of the back room, saying, we have business, so stop fucking around, talk about your goddamn clothes. And then they scowl at each other. They have a real tension moment, and Kaylin's all like, what the fuck's been going on between these two? How they travel together? They fuck sometimes. That's how they get the tension out, Kaylin. We just don't talk about it.
They just chill out. Yeah.
That's definitely happened, though. Right?
Between Zed and Anne?
Yeah. They have no sexual chemistry. We do not get shown any actual like flirting between the two of them. I'm aware of this, right?
It is possible to not like someone's like, okay, this is a dangerous line, so I'm not saying this lightly. But I've heard that there are people who dislike each other so much, not able to like punch each other in the face because they don't want to get in trouble, who do end up like fucking. Yeah, like literally that. And not like in the way you think on a porno or whatever, but like that kind of tension between people can come out in different ways.
I'm not trying to ship every single like, oh, he's a guy and a girl. They have to fuck each other. But, you know, they're both maybe not the same age range, but they're both very old, wizened people. Probably the only two people of the same like level of power, and they've been farting around.
This is a wizard and a sorceress we're talking about. They're probably the two cleanest people.
They know how to use people, for sure.
In these times that they're in. So they're bathed, they're clean. Maybe they're just doing something French style. You know what I mean?
Of all the people in the world, these two people know about doing things like for practicality. Like, I don't like to do this, but I have to do this for the good of humanity, right? So, ergo, if they're both feeling pent up in a certain type of way, I feel like these two are the most likely to just be like, we're going to bang one out real quick, and this is going to be better for both of us.
I need this. Oh, my God. I just realized where we tie this in.
We both know it. It's fine.
I need this wizard on the top of his game. So I'm going to hawk to a spit on that thing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And he knows that she's going to chill the fuck out a little bit. Like, you know, it's good for everybody.
You got to return the favor.
It's good for everybody.
But everybody's chilled out, feels better. It's good.
It doesn't mean anything. We both know that. I don't love you. It's fine.
So definitely, maybe.
Yeah. Anne does touch Kaylin's face when she comes out, which I think is weird. They don't know each other.
Not like that. Yeah.
Just don't touch me if I don't know you like that. This is like too close. But she does ask if the day is well, and they tell them about Junie. Like, yes, first day of our marriage. We went and took a bath. Also, somebody died.
Yeah. It's going great. We found a dead guy.
Yeah. Zed turns and asks Kara because she's protector. And she's like, yeah, he became a danger. He tried to find and kill Richard. And then he fucking died. And Richard turns and looks at her and he's like, no, that is not what fucking happened.
He straight up says, no, Kara's wrong.
Yeah.
No, Kara. Sit down, uncle. That's what he did to her.
Yeah. Now's not your time to talk.
But that's important that he does it. And he was like, no. I can clarify what did happen, the odd behavior, but at no point was he necessarily a threat.
Yeah.
He was just temporarily an unknown.
He didn't attack me. That
Right.
definitely did not happen. He tells Zed, though, about the longing, the weird, lusty fucking look in his eye that he had when he died, and that Nestle said evil spirits did it.
I guess this is answered in the amount of time between them finding the body and when Nestle took a look at it, but there's also like different things that happen to a body after someone dies, especially if they've been sitting in water. Certain things are going to bloat and like, you know what I mean? So like eyes do change after a while too. So it could be that he had this weird look in his eyes just because he's been sitting in water for a little while. The thing is while he was running, they saw the lusty, weird look in his eyes. So I guess that they knew that he also looked that way alive.
Well, there's that, and also we are led to believe that he was only there for like not that long. Like he couldn't have been laying there for that long. Kara was maybe passed out for like half an hour and then went chasing after him, but he wasn't missing a lot of paint off his face.
Yeah.
Or his body. So, like, they implied they found him maybe within an hour of his death and then carried him over there. So, like, I don't know. It is weird. You probably can't see the look in somebody's eye an hour after they die.
I mean, it really depends
I've never looked.
On what it was he looked like while he was running by. And we really don't get all of that from Kara, especially because she's twisting it kind of the way she is.
It is interesting, though, because at this point, after they say that Nestle believed that it was the evil spirits, Anne then asks if Kaylin got a bad wedding from the Mud People. And Kaylin's like, no.
I wonder why this is. It seems out of place. Is it because you're talking about evil spirits and Anne is then reminded that these are the Mud People and they do things differently? And she's just like, you know, oh, you guys just got married, so that's cool. Was it terrible? Why? I don't know why she brought this up right here.
There's a meaning that I'm missing because Caitlin's like, no, it was just what's in their hearts that matter. That's why we're here. I don't give a shit about the accoutrement.
We celebrated with people that wanted to celebrate with us. That's the mark of a good wedding.
We whooped it up with our friends. And at that point, points to the grace and asks if you really think the Creator hears you when you pray for your mother's spirit. Kaylin seems to be like dismissing their beliefs about evil spirits. Anne takes that to be like, do you think that they gave you a bad wedding? Because their culture is their wedding. I think that's where she's going with it.
Okay.
And then she equates that to Kaylin's prayer to the spirits for her mother. So I think that Anne was trying to like tie their beliefs to the wedding in a weird way. I think it is kind of a weird like Evel Knievel jump. Like the bridge is not strong. But I think that maybe because Kaylin doesn't believe it's evil spirits, Anne was trying to give her shit about, oh, well, did you like your wedding? Was your wedding shitty then?
Oh, so Anne was actually in defense of the Mud People in this situation. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Because I took it completely the opposite way while I was reading it.
Well, I think she's trying to point out the things that are bad about the Mud People.
You're discounting one thing and not another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, you appreciate what's in their hearts here.
So Anne is being wise then.
She's trying to be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Because she points to Grace and she's like, do you really think the Creator hears you when you pray for your mother's spirit? It's the same way for the Mud People. The nature of the offerings is symbolic. They don't really believe that giving these evil spirits the clay figures that they have, rice cakes, is going to appease the evil spirits, but they hope so because they actually believe in the evil spirits.
They believe in the evil spirits. What they don't believe is that an evil spirit is going to come to the world in whatever ghost form, pick up the, again, super dry rice cakes and take them back, eat them, and go, you know what? I'm not happy with that, so I'm coming back and killing someone. It's a more symbolic thing than that. Like, we leave out the rice cakes to keep them happy so that we can think to ourselves when somebody dies of unnatural causes. Must have been the spirits. Cool. We have a quick, clean answer for that. But now we know that that person's gone, and that's sad. So we'll like to think that now they're on the good side of the spirits in the underworld, and they're fighting for good, and that's got less of a chance of happening again. It's like a whole thought process.
Yeah, and it's what they believe, but also in the way that Kaylin might believe in the underworld and the creator and all of her own beliefs, but she's also doesn't really believe that the creator is like listening to her when she prays to him.
Again, I'll say in a world that has magic, you can't be like, well, yeah, we have the creator, but ghosts aren't real. Like, shut the fuck up. If magic exists and that's a known quantity in the world, then you can't say that something can't exist, because guess what? Yes, it can.
Yeah, I think that is where the plot hole is in this part, because yes, they do exist, and they might not like stuff given to clay spirits, but we do know that they can get mad and butthurt because Dark and Rawl is down there, and he's proven that.
Yeah, but there actually are bad spirits that actually do bad shit. So, like, they do something to try and appease it, but that doesn't necessarily directly affect it, but it's all they can do, so it's what they do.
Yeah, because what else are you gonna fucking do? Exactly.
We solved it.
Better safe than sorry is basically the answer.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all we really had to fucking say.
Wizard's Rule 45.
And that's actually what I had in my note that I was completely not reading while we just like worked that out. At this point, Richard posits that by the same merit, a spirit could be angered by disrespect.
So what exactly do you mean?
I mean that they keep trying to give good things to the spirits, to the evil spirits, to try and keep them happy. Richard's it did seem silly that he brought this up loudly to the room, because it seems obvious that you can either give them good things or you could probably piss them off
or you could give them bad things and then tick them off somehow. Rile that bee's nest.
Maybe not give them something bad, but do something disrespectful maybe.
Oh.
And catch their wrath or whatever.
Well, Jade, I would hate to do something like that, because I definitely don't want to catch the wrath of the gods, especially the ones that I revere, like the beer gods. So I think to leave this can of delicious peanut butter porter unfinished would probably be a slap in their face. So maybe we take a break and finish that real quick.
Okay.
And then we'll be back right after this.
Oh. Hey, we're back.
Hey. You caught me off guard.
It's weird. We came around that corner and then we're back.
You were right there. Yeah.
So weird.
Wild.
So wild. So Zed and Anne are hanging out with Richard and Kaylin and Kara. Kara's like in the corner. She's not like actually sitting by anybody, I don't think. She's never like in the circle. She's always just like off to the side.
Yeah, she's kind of disinterested in what they're doing. Yeah. Right?
Does not give shits.
Well, it's because of what they're working on.
Yeah. So Zed and Anne had already drawn the grace on the ground. Nope, I'm wrong. They drew the grace in the other room, but here in this room, Zed draws a new grace.
Fresh grace.
With dirt, not sand. He doesn't use sorcerer's sand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not special sand.
This is a practice grace.
Yes, it's a pencil drawing, okay?
Normally we use pen, but I'm going to give you the special pencil.
Woo! They start to teach him about it. That's the goal here, is we're trying to go back to the basics. And Richard is like, hey, Zed, I don't know why we're talking about this right now, but I really want you to go take a look at Junie because I think this is a weird fucking thing that happened.
This is real cool and all, but we just got done telling you that I actually control an interdimensional beast who lives in tubes that can make it from here to Aidendrill in less than a day. Like, we're beyond this now. This is good. Like, it's not bad for Richard to know, and I feel like he would want to take the time to learn this. But also, buddy,
there's a
I'm
body
already
getting
reading.
cold in the other hut over there.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like, I think he's like pressing issues, my guy.
Yeah, I'm already reading. Teach me the alphabet later.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure it out on the go.
And also, I went to school. They abducted me and put a collar on me. And God knows how long I was actually away.
It was like a couple months.
But in his time,
Few months.
it was
long enough.
longer.
No matter how long it was long enough for Richard.
It was long. But
He grew his beard out.
yeah, exactly.
So, couple months.
Exactly. So you want to know why he didn't learn it there? If it was fucking the alphabet equivalent of wizard school.
Yeah.
And Anne is like, the reason is, and her and Zed look at each other a second, then she like looks down and then she goes,
dot.
the reason
Toe
is,
shuffle.
we've never taught anybody like you before, with your like special thing you got there.
Oh,
With the subtractive magic. So
don't
we
know
needed
why-
prudence.
I just got a lot of feels like when because I always knew that I was adopted, but like the day that it really sinks in that first time, it's like, because you're different / special. And you're like, don't feel great about it really. You're like, oh, you couldn't. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm different. Damn it.
We had to be careful, so we couldn't teach, which is weird. She doesn't explain exactly why they needed prudence or why
They couldn't teach him
it was so
Expelliarmus.
violent.
They needed him to do Fireball.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
We couldn't teach you the alphabet. We had to teach you the, philosophy of wizarding first. We had to jump straight there. She's like, now though, we have to teach you because ignorance is dangerous too. So she's like, well, now we're just worried that you're too dumb to keep going and deal with what we're doing from here on out if we don't show you this.
I think kind of in the same vein as what I was just saying. Like, Richard's already been doing the more dangerous stuff. Now, he's been successful in these things. He's a war wizard. He goes by instinct and feel and need. So he's just going as he goes. And for us, the fandom, and like the way Richard works as a hero, he does things when he needs them to happen, right? So going by instinct, going off base, that's what Richard is built to do. So that he's been successful so far doesn't really surprise us. But from Zed and Anne's point of view, he is doing these nuanced, crazy things with magic that he doesn't have a full grasp of. I'd like to point back to Zed in Dead of Bones. He was the same way. He would study these things and then he would show his teachers shit that they didn't even understand. But they still had to go through all of those classes and be like, okay, these are the basics and this is where it's coming from. Because you can have a good understanding or have just some weird innate talent to do this odd specific thing very, very well and still not have a good grasp on the different, I don't know what the term is I'm looking for, the different aspects of what it is you're fucking with, because you don't have to know, because I do this one thing. Like, I can find the truth, but it's like, did you know that if you draw the grace like this, you'll explode? No, I didn't know that.
All the nuances. It's like he has a very good grasp on chemistry. And he's seen all of the different, like a whole bunch of different elements that he could put together, or like fucking things.
Chemical concoction.
Chemicals, yes.
Yeah.
Chemicals. So he's aware, like he could just know that if I put this together with this, I'm going to create an explosion or a gas of some kind. But he doesn't know that if you put just a little too much of this over here, that it could blow up the whole world. So,
right.
Like, he's able to just go in there and throw things together and understand the properties of them and know how they're supposed to work together, but he doesn't know the the small equations that might make the bigger difference in some of that stuff.
Kind of like that episode of The Simpsons when Marge, for whatever reason, was writing for the newspaper, and she was like, combine the cleaning power of bleach with the staying power of ammonia, and then put that in the newspaper. And it was just like, yeah, she's just trying to be useful with her cleaning products, but actually, seriously, don't fucking mix those because it will kill you. You will die.
Yeah. You could,
good to theory, but no, don't actually.
Yeah. Theories are great.
Super dangerous.
Yeah, just firing from the hip is not always the right way to go.
I feel like everybody listening is smart enough, but I know I just said that on a podcast. So for real, guys, don't put those two things together.
That's our truth.
That's not even just our truth. That's just the truth in general.
We would love to hear yours. Please write to us in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com or find us on any of our social medias.
Glug, 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 glug.
If you would like to support this podcast and hear more silky smooth content, find us over on patreon.com/podcastatt, where every tier is a happy tier.
Aw, that sounds nice.
Yeah. That's all for us, friends.
Thank you all very, very much for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.